All right, we're back, and before we get into our strategy session, we've got to talk a little offside-onside. And I'm glad that I have two hockey know-it-alls here because this topic today is very relevant for both of you. So we're going to throw it up on the screen for everybody at home so they can see it. While competitive sports involve the whole family, parents and family members of an athlete need to balance their involvement and their influence. When it comes to parents in sports, can they go too far?
They're parents. And yes, they can go too far.
Yeah.
Parents, some of them, when it comes to their kids, get a little intense.
A little intense?
A little intense. Yeah, yeah. When you're sending emails to the play-by-play guy, telling the play-by-play guy...
See, this is the kind of stuff I want to hear, because
to stop
we see it on
trashing
TV.
the kid. Well, I'm not the one who's keeping your kid out of the NHL. I'm just the lowly radio play-by-play guy.
So that's happened before, though. You've received emails from parents about your comments?
I may have. It may have happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I mean, I grew up playing soccer. I grew up having my parents involved, but they were always very careful to sort of, you know, teeter on that line because you're involved in competitive sports.
But let's make sure we understand that if you took 100 parents, all those 100 parents want the best for their kid.
Sure.
There's 5% of them that go way over the top and don't even recognize that they may not be as good. Now, who as a parent wants to recognize their son or daughter may not be as good as everybody else? But there is a reality, and I've seen it over and over, where you know what, you can't, you can't expect miracles. And then, they talk about getting the fun back of the game. At today's game in hockey, they're like this big, and the pressure on these little guys and girls to perform is ridiculous. And peewees, let these kids enjoy it, and these parents yelling and screaming from the stands. You know what? Sorry, some of the parents, you got to grow up.
Well, I think a big problem, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but another side of this too, which I want to make sure that I touch on while you're both here, is the officiating side of it. Because it's one thing if mom or dad is yelling at little Johnny or little Susie, but what I have a problem with, I mean, I grew up refereeing. Well, let me tell you, I lasted maybe 2 soccer seasons because, and I think that's a major problem too, especially in youth leagues, is that the numbers of officials are dwindling, and I think it's the parents and the spectators who are having a direct impact on that. I mean, what have you guys seen?
Yeah, I feel it's bad when they come to when it all comes down on hockey. You mentioned being an official in soccer. I mean, it's other sports out there, and it really is any facet of life. I mean, I'm watching TSN and it's got the spelling bee competition on, and they show the parents sitting there in the audience, and they're politely saying, "Oh yes, it's on in the afternoon. We spend a lot of time on the road in Grand Prairie. You got to watch something. It's either that or Matlock." And so, I mean, those parents, you don't think there's a few parents that maybe go overboard a little bit, or they're forcing their kids to read some dictionaries? I mean, there's parents out there that no matter what it's going to be, are going to go a little overboard when they're trying to push their kids a little bit too hard. And when the respect for the officiating, I mean, there's no need to cross that line at any point. Ever.
Worst job, they got the worst job in all the sports referees, because you know what, they're damned if they do and damned if they don't.
Right.
One side or the other is going to be affected. Now, and quite a few times I've had referees where I think, I just said it actually to George the other day, that on the South trip we had 2 guys that did a fantastic job. And I mean, I got angry with the one, but it's
Brad
us too.
Yeah,
but it's coaches too, and
Unbelievable.
I'm guilty as hell on it too. Is at some point, you have to learn to just back off. I've learned it to a large degree, but I'm still there, where I still get emotionally in it, and I don't realize the effect it has on my players on the bench. When I lose it, they lose it,
right.
and that's where we got to get better.
And Pontiac fans would like to thank you for your penalty there the other night.
Oh.
Yeah, see, and I helped them.
that.
It's anything I can do to, and a good game we had. I mean, it was
You're so generous, Brian Curran.
No, because when I get done here, I'm
considerate.
going to kick I'm going to take them down and beat the hell out of them. But after that, we're fine.
Well, on that note, we're going to take a time out here, and we're going to take a commercial break. But when we return, we're going to get to break down that big game coming up here in Lloyd on Friday. Look, the gloves are getting on. We got to cut to a commercial.
My mom will protect me. Watch out.